Savvy business owners know this for a fact, that 50% of prospects will go with the business that responds to them fast. Not the one who's best, and not the one with a stronger brand. Now here's another one. Stats show that if you contact a lead within 60 seconds of them showing interest in your business, you're 4 times more likely to close the deal. Think about it. If you can close 4 times more deals, you 4x your business. Then why don't you have an AI phone caller that automatically calls leads within 60 seconds of them showing interest? Talk of leaving money on the table. Congrats! The table needs it. I mean, your employees are already quite busy, so do yourself a favor and check this out. So here I built a dummy site and called it Mutiso's super cool site. Awesome domain, right? Anyway, so the point is, down here there's a contact form that a customer can come and fill out. So for example, my name is John Smith. My email is john@gmail.com. There's my phone number and there's my message. How do I get started working with you guys for my marketing? We have launched a new database management software recently, and we need it in the consumer's hands. Then when I click submit, I should expect to get a phone call over on my phone. But of course, there's a delay to simulate that an actual human being has seen your message and they are now reaching out. So when I click submit, let's see that. Thank you for your submission has been received. Let us see. There you have it. So a phone call is entering. Let me pick up.
Hey John Smith, this is Susan calling from Pro Marketers. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Awesome. We've just seen your inquiry about getting started with your marketing for your new database management software. We're really excited to help you get it into the consumer's hands. If you don't mind, could I ask you a few questions to better understand your situation and how we can best assist you?
Yeah, sure. You guys are fast, but go ahead.
Great, thanks. Let's start with your primary business goals. What are your main objectives for the next 6 to 12 months?
Mainly to hit 100K in monthly recurring revenue for our new software.
Got it. Aiming for that 100K in monthly recurring revenue is an exciting goal. Now, what challenges are you facing with your current social media efforts?
Okay, our team is too busy, so we don't have that consistency. So mainly it's just lack of consistency.
I totally get that. Consistency is key, but it's tough when the team is swamped. Have you run any social media marketing campaigns in the past? If so, what results did you get?
Well, I'll be honest, last year we did a campaign, but we lost all the money.
Thanks for sharing that. It's tough when campaigns don't go as planned. Have you worked with a marketing agency before? If so, what was your experience like?
Now this would be our first time.
All right, there's a first time for everything. Do you have a timeline for when you'd want to see results?
I mean, if we can start seeing results like within the first week, that would be awesome.
Got it. Quick results are definitely a priority. Lastly, what's the name of your company?
We are technology experts.
Thanks for all the info, John. Let me summarize everything and get you booked for an appointment. When would be a good time for you?
Can we do tomorrow at 11 a.m.?
Awesome. Let me book you in for an appointment. Awesome, John. You're all booked for tomorrow at 11 a.m. Looking forward to chatting with you then. Have a great day.
You too, goodbye. So here, if I check my calendar, you can see an appointment has been booked for 11 a.m. with John Smith. Then if I check my database, which in this case could be your CRM or your database, whatever it is. So you can see customer name, John, their email address, their phone number. The company is Technology Experts. The situation summary, which is like the questions the AI has asked. So you can see John Smith from Technology Experts aims to hit 100K in monthly recurring revenue for their new software within the next 6 to 12 months. The team faces challenges with consistency in their social media efforts. They ran a campaign last year without success and have not worked with a marketing agency before. They are looking to see initial results within the first week. And yeah, that's it. We can even take it further and send an email to your team just to notify them that a new lead has entered. Now just take a moment and picture the impact of such a system within your business. If every single customer or prospect who fills out your contact form with a specific message, they immediately get a phone call from the AI taking them back and forth just to understand their situation. All those things help in boosting your conversion rate, because the thing is, at the current day and age, speed to customer, the actual word, what's it normally? Average time to customer. I mean, I'm not sure, just go and search. But the point is, if you're able to reach out as fast as possible, you significantly boost the likelihood of you closing the deal. Because at this day and age of AI and automation, customers are coming to expect exceptional customer support. And if your business, I call you and you take an entire eternity to reach out to me, I move on. Like, most likely right now it's no longer a priority because I'm living life and things happen, and I filled out your form that time, and that time it was an urgent thing. But now all of a sudden, maybe I'm dealing with, I need to send money to my mom who needs some money for shopping or whatever it is. Point is, you have to reach out as soon as possible. So now the question you're asking is, how do you get into building one yourself? Let me show you. So we're building the voicebot over on a platform called Vapi. If you're not familiar, Vapi is one of the most popular voicebot building platforms out there. I mean, there are other options that I really like personally, like Retail AI, but in some situations, Vapi normally works very well. So in this case, we'll use Vapi. So if this is your first time on Vapi, go ahead and search vapi.com. So you see, not vapi.com, vapi.ai. Go ahead and create an account. It can be with your Google account, then log into your dashboard. Once you do that, you'll arrive at something like this. If this is your first time, this will be empty, especially this side, and also on this part you won't have any assistants. So go ahead and click create assistant, give it a name, whatever it is. So let's say this is appointment booking bot 2, because I already have one. Then you'll click on a blank template, then click on create assistant. Then what you'll do is you'll go to the link in the description to access the entire of this system prompt. So the entire instructions I'll give the AI, I have it linked within the description, so grab that and paste it in here, then we can continue. So I'll take you through the actual prompt and what was going through my mind in regard to building the prompt. So first of all, there's a first message. So hey, in brackets name. So here, this will be dynamically filled out based on the name of the customer when they fill out the contact form. So hey name, this is Susan calling from Pro Marketers. How are you doing today? Okay, so then let's enter into the system prompt. So that the AI knows the kind of instructions that will guide the entire conversation. So what I'll do is I'll just Control A all this, Control X, just to cut it out. Then I show you what I normally do before starting any system prompt. I normally have a boiler template that begins all my system prompts. So you can just get a picture of how system prompts normally start. You know what I'll do is I've just pasted this back, so because I don't have a place to paste it. Then I'll just come to till the bottom right here, create some space. Then I show you how I normally begin every system prompt. So here I'll just paste it in there. So I normally start with a role. This tells the AI you're an exceptional, enthusiastic customer support agent of whatever company. Your role is to give responses to general inquiries and also, let's say, booking appointments with the user. Then we go into the task. This is the task at hand that it's going to be handling. Then we go into specifics in regard to the task. So breaking down each task that we have mentioned that it needs to do, what it's actually going to be doing. Okay, so specifics in regard to that. Then we have context. Another context, we have context in regard to the business, about the business and what the business does. Then here we'll have some examples. Just think of this like an actual script of a back-to-back conversation between the AI and the customer. AI says this, the customer says this. AI says this, customer says this. That's just an example. Then we have notes here. Here's where when you test the voice bot and notice that it tweaked somewhere or it didn't say something as you wanted it to, you'll come here and add in notes to caution it further and fine-tune the system prompt. So this is a section that will get filled up very quickly once you continue testing it out. Okay, so now that's out the way. Let me just remove this and let's go back to our prompt. So the role is you're a helpful and enthusiastic customer support agent of Pro Marketers. Your role is to obtain necessary details from the customer and book the customer in for an appointment. The customer has just filled out a form from our website. You are to start with a personalized response to the following message they've submitted. Then this will be filled in dynamically, and I'll show you how we're able to dynamically insert specific variables into our voice bot before having a conversation with the customer, because the thing is, Vapi makes it difficult to work with dynamic variables, to be able to insert variables within your system prompt. But when we are leveraging make.com, I'll show you a clever way in how we can insert variables into the conversation before engaging with the customer. So this could be the customer's name, any details in regard to their past purchases, the message they've sent from our contact form. All this will fill them in. Here are their personal details that you'll use when booking in an appointment. So this is the customer's name, email, and phone number, and you can see all these are dynamic variables that I've encapsulated within what's wrong with my English, using square brackets. Okay, and then the task at hand is, your task is to give a personalized response to the message they've submitted from our website form. You are then to request if you could obtain a few details to better understand their situation, then wait for their approval. So if the customer starts with a message like, I'm looking to start with you guys for my new shoe collection that we are launching next week, the AI should start with that personalized message in order to show the user that we have read their message and now we are reaching out in regard to that message. But it needs not to go directly into asking the questions, because this is something I noticed. It will say the personalized message something like, we're excited to help you with your new shoe collection next week that you're looking to launch, all that. Then it just goes directly into, we have a few questions. First of all, what pain points are you guys experiencing? What are these? What? It just goes direct into asking questions without getting approval from the customer. So we need to caution it in regard to that. So once you get approval, you are then to ask the customer the following questions. Once they approve that, you can proceed with asking your questions. So I have a list of questions that will help our sales team to be able to close the deal. So in your company, just think through the service that you sell and the questions that, if the think through the kind of information that if your sales team had this information, it would increase the chances they actually close the deal during the meeting. So it can be things like getting to know the customer's pain points, the bottlenecks they're experiencing in their business, what has hindered them from reaching their goals within the past time, like all these details, just to help the salespeople, arm them with super details that can be used to close the deal. So after obtaining all their responses, summarize it into a single paragraph to be saved when booking the appointment. Do not dare read the summary back to the user. That's for our backend team. So this is something I noticed. It would create a summary of like the questions the user has asked. The question the AI has asked, the customer gave responses. So its point is to summarize all these responses. After summarizing it, it would read it back to the user, which we don't want that. That's for our backend team to leverage. Then context about the business. I'll be honest, this I generated with ChatGPT, but on your side, have a good paragraph description about your business and what you guys do. So here under examples, we have a script of an actual conversation between the AI and the customer. So the AI will start with, hey Alex, this is Susan calling from Pro Marketers. How are you doing today? The user, I'm very well. So you can pause and read through the actual script, which is just like what we had during the demo. So it will go and ask all the questions that it needs to obtain, then booking the appointment. So down here is the critical part. So once it finalizes, so the user will be like, well, I'm not really sure on the timelines, but if you can see the results within the first month, that would be awesome. Then the AI will be like, we can definitely help with that. Let's book you in for a meeting. When do you suggest? The user is like, let's go with tomorrow at 10 a.m. Then this is the critical part. We tell the AI, run the booking function to book in the appointment. Then the assistant will be like, awesome, you're booked in for tomorrow at 10 a.m. See you soon, John. That's if this booking was successful. Then the user is like, goodbye. That's an actual script. You could have two of this. I prefer having two. In this case, I just have one for this. Just a basic tutorial. Then here under notes, I give it more cautioning. When I tested the voicebot, I noticed some places it was making some mistakes. So I came here and tweaked the system prompt accordingly. So first of all, this entire paragraph that you see highlighted, I normally call it seasoning, prompt seasoning. And I'll make this joke again. Just picture Salt Bay sprinkling in some prompt seasoning into your voice bots and making all your voice bot conversations more human-like, more conversational, such that it doesn't sound like a robot talking to a human being. So go ahead, that entire paragraph, copy it as is and paste it in whatever voice bot you build going forward. It will make your voice bots more conversational, more human-like. Then come thank me later. So when generating responses, aim for a casual and conversational tone. Think of how you might talk to a friend in a relaxed setting. Use informal language and common colloquial expressions such as so, yeah, and okay. Avoid formal language and corporate jargon. Instead, focus on making the dialogue flow naturally, using contractions like you're instead of you are, and inserting filler words occasionally to mimic natural speech patterns. Strive to make responses sound warm and approachable, using everyday vocabulary and sentence structures. So copy that paragraph in whatever voice bot you build, paste it in there. Then another note I noticed is ensure to only ask one question at a time. This is extremely critical. Do not dare bombard them with a whole heap of questions. This is a matter of life and death. So let me explain this section. I noticed when the AI calls me, it immediately jumps into bombarding me with an entire heap of questions. But an actual human being has a set bandwidth. They can't handle all these questions all at once. So it needs to go one at a time. Then see, I sell it. This is extremely critical. Then also down here I say this is a matter of life and death. It sounds like, why are you telling the AI instructions like you're emotional? This we call emotional prompting within prompt engineering. So study has shown that if you're able to use such emotional statements like this is a matter of life and death, this is extremely critical to the success of our business, and we really appreciate you taking your keen time to provide the right response. Like, it sounds weird how you're talking to an AI as if it has emotions, but it actually gives better responses. So ensure to have such emotional prompts within your AI system. Then ensure to only proceed with asking the questions to the customer if they approve you to do so. Do not dare proceed with asking them the set of questions until you obtain their approval. Then finally, this is critical. Do not dare call the booking function until the customer specifies a specific day and time they want the appointment. So this is something I noticed when I was testing the voice bot. It will just tell me successfully booked the meeting, and I haven't even told it to book me for tomorrow at 10 a.m. So that's some cautioning I needed to do. Then you'll go ahead and click publish so that you can ensure you've saved the system prompt and you can go ahead and test the voice bot. So for the actual AI model that is powering this voice bot, we are using GPT-4o by OpenAI. I personally love OpenAI. They have the best models out there. We don't have any data that's the AI is using to reference when giving responses. So this is a basic tutorial. Under transcriber, we're just using everything at default. So leave that as default. Under the voice, you can pick a voice that's more geared to your accent. 11 Labs is really good. I normally like them because they have the most human-like, more conversational voices. Under functions, this is the critical part. We are adding the booking function. So this is the one that's going to handle booking in the appointment, and I'll take you through how we're able to do it. So on your side, go to tools, create a new tool, give it a name, something like so. First of all, you see this custom tool, make or go high level. We're creating the tool using make.com, but I don't recommend you to go with the built-in integration for make here. Why is this? You might deal with customers or clients who are not using make.com for their functionality. They're using something like Zapier or N10 to handle automating their tasks. So in that case, if you started with this make.com built-in integration with Vapi, it's going to be tough for you to switch the integration over to Zapier or N10. You'll have to go and start reconfiguring things, reconfiguring modules. It's going to be a tiresome process. So the best thing is go with custom tool over here. Then what this enables you to do is when you switch to Zapier, you can just simply switch the server URL. So from the endpoint URL you use for Make, now switch it to the endpoint URL you get from Zapier. So for this, let me go to make.com. So here's the actual scenario that's booking in the calendar meeting. It starts with a webhook module. So this is the one that will give you the URL that you're meant to paste within Vapi. So go ahead and click add over here. Give your webhook a name, whatever it is, then click save. It should be able to give you an address that you copy address to clipboard, then go and paste it within your Vapi tool. So come paste it in here. Then you'll click on save, then next. Then give the AI some details on telling it that these are the specific variables that we need to extract from the conversation in order to book in the appointment. So for example, first of all, we need the customer name. Give it a description, something like this is the customer's name. Can I really type customer's name? Okay, don't fill out this description with too much gibberish. Okay, you don't need to have a long description for your variables. This is risking the AI not being able to tell what this variable actually is. So just keep it simple. For simple variables, it's a string, so it can be a string, number, whatever, but in this case it's a string, so I'll click save. Then let's add the other properties. We'll also need the customer's email, so customer email, there you go. Then this is the customer's, where is my typing, email address. Then this is a string also, click save. Same case to the phone number, so customer phone, here it is. So this is the customer's phone number. I'll leave it as a string, then click save. Then the other property is the customer summary. So this is the summary of the customer's situation, something of the sort. Then we add another one. This one is appointment time. Okay, this is the time the customer wants to book the appointment. Okay, that's in string. Then let's click save. Then finally is the company name, so I'll also do that. Company name, this is the customer's, can I really type company name? There you go. Then it's a string, then click save. Then you'll click next. Give your tool a name, something like booking. Then this tool, just give it a description like this tool. Today my typing has issues. This tool is used for booking in appointments. Okay, so as I mentioned, you don't need to fill out this description, giving it an entire long description that Mr. AI used this tool when the customer expresses interest, when they want to book an appointment with our team and they want you see, it's long and it's useless, it's unnecessary. Then click next. Then here is the messages that the AI needs to say before the call, before booking the appointment, during booking it, and after booking the appointment. So first it should say something like, awesome, let me book you in for an appointment. If there's a delay, the customer needs not to think that the AI has already gone and left the call. If there's a delay, the AI should say something like, sorry for the delay, I'm working to finalize your booking. Success message, leave this as blank, so this will be said dynamically based on the result of the appointment booking. Then the error message is, sorry for the inconvenience, but I'm having trouble booking you for the appointment. So that's it. Then click on create. Then to attach this tool to your assistant, go to assistants. Then under functions, you'll go to the drop down over here. Then select the specific function you want to attach to this specific assistant. So in this case, I already have my booking one, so I'll remove the new one that I created and remain with the one I have. Then you'll click publish. Okay, so just to understand what the actual make.com scenario does to book the appointment, it will get the details from VAPI, all those details like customer name, email, phone number, summary, all that, the appointment time, all that. Then it will use a set AI step. So this is an AI step that's going to check. The user said they want to book tomorrow at 10 a.m. But to book an appointment, we need a specific date that is in a specific format. So this step does that. So the actual name of the module is called Create Chat Completion. So you can see it there. You'll go ahead and connect to your OpenAI account. If you need help with that, just click on online help over here. Then you need you need your organization ID and your API key in order to do that. Then under the system prompt, so you can see we're just from asking the customer when they would like to book the appointment. You'll be provided with the current date and their response. You must output the date and time they want the appointment in date time format. You are to output only the date time in ISO 8601 format. Don't add any notes or text, just the UTC time. Then this is an example of how the date should be formatted. So this is date ISO format. It's quite a standard way of formatting dates across the globe. So that's why I normally like it. Then down here, we add a user prompt So in this case, we are giving the AI now the details it needs to use. So we tell it this is the current date and time. So we use an inbuilt function within make.com to format it the way we need it. So notice I insert a variable here called now. So this is an inbuilt variable within make.com that gives you the current date and time when the scenario has been called. And you can see I specify that I need it in the first 4 digits is the year, second 2 digits the month, second 2 digits and third 2 digits that's the day. Then we have the hour, the minute, and specifically the time zone, which in this case is Kenya, Nairobi. But on your case, just paste in or ask Google for your time zone. So here is the customer's response on their desired appointment date and time. So you can notice this is coming in from, and notice, let me just drag this over here so that you can see. Let me cancel this. When I hover over this, notice the first module starts to pulsate. This shows you that this data is coming from this specific module. Okay, so that's the appointment time. So when I click here, let's just say under tool calls, so that's under tool calls, function, arguments, it's a long tree, but then you can get here the actual appointment time. So you'll click that to insert it in here. Then click OK. So next we have this module. It's a Google Calendar module that checks between this time and this time. Are there available slots for the user to book in? So for example, if the user says they want to book in for 11 a.m., our typical meeting runs for 30 minutes. So it will check between 11 and 11:30 a.m. Are there any empty slots to be used for booking? So just to show you, go ahead and connect to your Google account. So if you need help with that, just click on online help. Then you're able to do that. So the minimum time, so this is the time that is starting our search. This is the time that the user has asked. So in this case, we're getting this from the AI in ISO date time format. So I'll click on the result, put it in there. Then the maximum time, it will just use an inbuilt function with make.com, which just adds 30 minutes to the time that we have within the minimum time. So if it's 11 a.m., it will add 30 minutes on that. If it's 12 p.m., it will add 30 minutes on that. So that it checks the maximum time. So the minimum time will be 12 p.m., maximum time 12:30 p.m. Then the calendar ID, just pick your email, then that's all you need. So click OK. The next here we have 3 actions that can be done. In this case, forget about this email module. I haven't configured it, but in actual sense, when the calendar meeting has been booked, our team should be able to get an email telling us a new appointment has been booked with the customer. We have even obtained the details of their situation so that our sales team can use that to close the deal. All these details, okay? So we have a router in place. So the first thing is we have a filter to check. It will check the variable that comes in from the Google Calendar module. It will check whether it's empty. If it's empty, means that that time slot has not been booked and can be booked for the customer. But if the array, so it will return an array. Think of an array just like a list. If the list is empty, means that that time slot has not been booked. Okay, so it can go ahead and book it. But if that list comes back with an actual slot saying that there's a meeting between that specific time slot, then we can't book it in. So we use a specific operator called does not exist, which simply means is the array empty. If it's empty, we go ahead and book the appointment. So the actual module is a Google Calendar create an event module. So this just creates a new event within our Google Calendar. And the critical part is here under event name, we just say appointment with a specific name. So we get this from our first module. That's the customer's name. So under tool calls, function, just get used to doing this. Function, arguments, then get the customer name, all that. Then the start date. So this is the time to book in the event. So this we get from the AI. Then yeah, you click OK, that's it. Then once it books the appointment, it should be able to send back a response to VAPI or the voicebot telling it that the appointment has been booked. So for that, there's a specific structure that you need to follow, and this is within VAPI's documentation under tool calling. So if you need guidance on that, go and search VAPI documentation under tool calling. It will guide you in regard to how you need to structure the JSON response that's going back to VAPI when a tool has been called. So you see, it's an object with a specific property results, and the results is a list of results. So the first one is this object, and the object contains the tool call ID. This we get it directly from the specific the start module that gets the data from VAPI. Then we say result is awesome, your appointment has been successfully booked. Then yeah, that's it. If you need help formatting this JSON, just go to JSON editor online. It really helps with you structuring your JSON, ensuring that it doesn't have any syntax errors, all that. So you'll just paste it in here, okay? Then click OK. Then to save to Airtable, so that's the next module. To be able to connect to your Airtable database, go over to Airtable, over here, click on your profile, then click on Build a Hub. I'll just drag it over to a new tab. Then you'll click on Create a New Token. So ensure you're under Personal Access Tokens, then create a new token. Give it a name, whatever it is, preferably something like, let's say, Pro Marketers. Can I really type? Pro Marketers? Something of the sort, access token. Then give it a scope. So what is a scope? Is telling the Airtable API, whoever calls our API trying to access our database has the following permissions. They can only add data to our database, they can only update data in our database, but they can't delete data. So give it permissions based on what permissions you need the API to access. So I normally like just adding all of them so that if I need to use the access token, the same access token later on, I don't need to come back and create a completely new access token with that permission. So add the scopes that you need. So for example, read permissions, write permissions, all that. Then you attach a database. So in this case, I want to go to the Pro Marketers database. Then I'll click on Create Token. Copy the token that gets returned. Then go back to make.com. Then you'll click Add a new connection. The connection type is Airtable token or key. Then scroll down here and paste in your access token. Then click on Save. Okay. Then when you click on the base over here, you'll only have one database because that's the only permission it has access to. So Pro Marketers. The table is meetings table. So if I go here, you can see I only have one table. Then the details to add is the customer name, email, phone number, all that accordingly. And all this we get from the first module. So first customer name, put that in accordingly. Then customer email, the phone number, the company name, situation summary, then the meeting time, which is what the AI extracts. Then you'll click on OK. Then click Save. So this is good practice. Always when you alter anything within your make.com scenario, always ensure to save. Then here I have a second scenario that's actually the one that will initiate the call when the customer fills out my contact form. Okay, so the initial scenario was to book in the appointment, but this one is the one that will be triggered first in order to initiate the call with the customer after they fill out the form. So just go ahead and create a new scenario on your side, then click on these three dots, then import blueprint. So I'll provide access to this make.com template as well as the one that we have covered initially. So I forgot to mention that. So if you need access to both templates, just go to link in the description below, then go to Gumroad, click on the link and download the specific templates in order to use them. So import the blueprint, then I'll show you. The only things that you need to reconfigure in this is your assistant ID, your VAPI API key, your phone number ID, then yeah, that's it. So also maybe in regard to the dynamic variables, so if in case in your business your contact form has different fields, you'll change in the dynamic variables, but I'll guide you through this, so don't worry. So first of all, we have a trigger module that this will get the details from our Webflow form when the customer clicks submit. Okay, then we have a sleep module. Okay, what a sleep module is, it creates a delay. We don't want the AI to just initiate the call immediately. The customer has has filled out their form, then immediately they receive a phone call. It's not practical. Okay, so we can simulate an actual delay. It's in seconds, so you can go up to a maximum of 300 seconds, which is 5 minutes. So based on that, mine I just put it at 20 seconds because for the tutorial I didn't want to wait for long. But in this case, you can increase it to something like 2 minutes, so that will be 120 seconds, or 5 minutes, that is 300 seconds, whatever it is. Okay, so in this case I'll leave it at 20 seconds. Click OK. Then the assistant ID, go to VAPI, then here under the actual assistant, copy your assistant ID at the very top, come and paste it in here. For the VAPI API key, come here to VAPI, click on your profile down here. So I know my image has covered this, but down here just click on your profile, then click on API keys, then copy your API key, just that, then go back to make.com and paste it in there. Then the phone number ID, go back here to VAPI. Under phone numbers, you need to import a phone number into VAPI. So there are 3 ways you're able to get that. So one is either through Twilio or Vonage. So Twilio and Vonage are phone number providers that enable you to get a free phone number or a phone number, buy a phone number to use for your voice bot. But also you can buy a phone number through VAPI. I think they charge $2 per month per number. So you can be able to do that. It's way easier. But in this case, I just go with Twilio, okay? So if you don't have a Twilio account, go ahead and search twilio.com. Then create an account. I don't want to go through because it's just basics. Create an account. It can be with your Google account or whatever. Then log into your dashboard. So you'll arrive at something of the sort, okay? So if this is your first time with Twilio, you'll be on a trial account. So if that's the case, I can expect that you can be able to have a free phone number over here, okay? If they don't, too bad, because sometimes, I think I tried creating a free account on Twilio. For the first time, I got a free phone number. But next time I tried, there wasn't a new phone number. But in your case, you can click upgrade over here to upgrade to an account that actually has credits, okay? So Twilio works on credits. You can buy, let's say, $20 worth of credits, and that's how long you can be able to use your Twilio for your phone calls. So you'll only need 3 things to import your phone number. You need your phone number, your account SID, and your auth token, and all that you get within the homepage. So copy this account SID, come back here, then under account SID, paste it in there. Go copy your auth token, paste it in there. Copy your phone number, paste it in there. If you don't have a phone number, just click on view all numbers, then buy a new number. Then yeah, that's it. Also, some things you need to take into consideration is the specific countries that may be blacklisted when making phone calls. So if your country is under that, you need to ensure that it is whitelisted. So for that, come here under voice, then click on settings, geo permissions, then search for your country. In this case, mine is Kenya. Then ensure that it is selected, okay? Then click on save. Then another thing, if you're on a trial account, Twilio only allows you to make phone calls to verified phone numbers. So to do that, if you're on a trial account, come here to phone numbers, click on manage, verified caller IDs. Then you can go ahead and add a new caller ID. Put in the number there, then just verify. It will send you an SMS with a verification token. Just paste it in there and click verify. Then you've added your verified caller ID. If you created your account with using your phone number, it should be added by default. Then go back here to VAPI and just click on import phone number. So in this case, since this phone number is already added, I can't do that. Then you'll click copy on the phone number ID. So at the very top, click on copy. Come back here to make.com and paste it within the phone number ID. Then click on OK. Then now here, what we want to do is to make an API call to VAPI to get the actual assistant. Why are we doing this? So let me just explain. Building the assistant over on the VAPI dashboard doesn't allow us to work with dynamic variables. But in this case, we need that feature because the customer is filling out a contact form and we need those details to be pulled in before the AI talks with the customer. So for that, we need to make an API call to VAPI, get back what is called a JSON variable containing all the details on the assistant we have built on VAPI, okay? So that we can be able to dynamically insert the variables from the Webflow contact form. So let me say that again. We will make an API call to the VAPI endpoints with that specific assistant ID that we want to handle the call. It will send us back a JSON variable containing details in regard to the actual assistant. So this is the system prompt itself, the functions that it uses, all that, so that we can be able to use this JSON variable, or rather JSON data, in order to initiate the phone call. So we are not initiating the phone call through the VAPI dashboard. We are initiating the phone call programmatically. This is in order to insert the variables dynamically. I know it sounds like a lot of technical jargon, but I'll make it make sense. So give me a moment. So you see here, we're making an API call to the VAPI endpoint So /assistant / the specific assistant ID. So to test this out, we'll use Postman, which is a tool that enables us to test APIs. So let me just go here to Postman. Then I'll paste in the URL. So let me just copy this as is. Come back here to Postman and paste it in there. So it's a GET request that will need the assistant ID. So back here at VAPI, I'll just click on copy on my assistant ID. Then come paste it in there. Then we need authorization in place because this is VAPI. So it's a bearer token. Then here's where you paste in your API key. So back here at VAPI, click on your profile. I know mine right now it's covered with my image, but click on your profile down here. Then click on API keys. Then click on copy ID on your private key. Come and paste it in there. Then click send. So you see, there you have it. So let me just expand this so that we can go through that. So just forget about this top part, ID, organization ID. So you can see this is the name of the assistant, appointment booking bot. The voice that we are using is 11 Labs. Scroll down to the important parts. So we are using the model GPT-4o, and these are the tools that the AI is able to use when it's running the functions. So this is the tool ID. Okay, and you can see this when you go to your tools tab. Under the actual tool, you can see the tool ID. Then here's the most critical part under messages. We give it a system prompt. The role is a system because it's the system prompt. Then the actual content of the prompt is this. This is the entirety of the prompt that we build over on the VAPI dashboard, okay? And why we need it in text is in order for us to dynamically insert the variables in. So within this system prompt, wherever you see the variables encapsulated with the the square braces is what we will use to dynamically insert the details the customer has filled within the contact form. So let me just scroll down here. So for example, here in the first place we see, here are the personal details that you will use when booking an appointment. There's a customer name, then we have the name encapsulated with square braces. So this we will use make.com in order to dynamically insert John Smith there. For the email, same thing. Wherever there's email encapsulated with square braces, we'll replace with the actual contact form email, which is, let's say, alex@gmail.com. So this is the entire system prompt. Then there's more things in regard to the actual assistant, but we don't need all this when initiating the phone call. And I'll show you how we're able to filter down and just have the exact properties that we need. So back to make.com. So once we make the API call, it will get back the same JSON data we've seen on Postman. So I'll click OK. Then we need to work with that. So next we have this this specific tool which just saves whatever has been drawn from the API call to VAPI. We save it within a variable in make.com. Then we give that variable a name of dynamic assistant so that we can use it within the rest of the flow. Then here we create a variable that will contain all the dynamic variables we need to insert within the voicebot. So the first one is, so it's a list of objects and each object represents a single variable, okay? So the first one is the name of the customer and the value is the actual customer's name. Same case, so in regard to the time, so VAPI doesn't have a way of knowing the current date and time. So if the user says, I want to book tomorrow, VAPI won't know that tomorrow is 16th of January. So we need to give VAPI the current date and time. So this is where retail AI beats VAPI because retail already has an inbuilt current date time variable. But with VAPI, you need to make an external API call to retrieve the current date and time. Then next is the actual message of the user and their email address. Okay. Then the next variable, the next module just obtains the dynamic assistant. Then here is the critical part of where we insert the dynamic variables within the system prompt. So we are going to save the details back to the same variable dynamic assistant, but we want to alter some things. So what we want to alter is wherever we see the variable encapsulated with square braces, we replace it with the actual value. So for example, name in square braces, we replace it with John Smith. Email in square braces, we replace it with john@gmail.com. The message encapsulated with square braces, we replace it with the actual message. So this is an inbuilt variable, inbuilt function within make.com that does that. And you can see its description is, it replaces the search string with the new string. So you can see here, the example they give is, the statement is hello world, but we want to search wherever there is hello, we replace it with hi. Therefore the result will be hi world. So the same case here, we'll get the JSON data. So you can see here, we first get the JSON data of the actual assistant, but we need to convert it into string because it's now a JSON object. We convert it into a string in order to replace the values within it. So this is an inbuilt function within make.com that does that. Then the search string is we are searching for anything that has the specific square braces surrounding it. So that specific tag, replace it with its actual value. So it will go through the actual details that we get. So there's a purpose of this tool that we have just initially here, these dynamic variables. It will look through all of this, then check for the tag itself. So the tag is name, then replace it with the actual name. It will check the tag is current time, then replace it with the actual time. So that's how it works. So we do that. So square name will be replaced with John Smith. Click OK. Then we have an aggregator here which just bundles it all together so that we can work with only one bundle. Then we obtain the actual dynamic assistant variable. We pass its JSON. Now this array aggregator, what it does is it shrinks down, since our assistant JSON data has a lot of properties within it, but we don't need all of those properties to initiate a phone call. So we specify within that property. If I go back to Postman, remember here it has so many properties like first message, transcriber, provider, the temperature, all that, but we don't need all that. So we need to shrink it down. So we just say we need the name, the model, the voice, the transcriber, the first message, client messages, end call phrases, and the server messages, all that. Then we transform the JSON and use it to make the API call to initiate the phone call. So we are hitting the endpoint URL of VAPI. This you can get within VAPI documentation, but once you hit this endpoint URL, it's a post request, so you'll pass in some data in order to initiate the phone call. And what is that data? So let's scroll down here. Notice it's a post request. We need to pass in our API key for authorization. Then we specify that the body, so the data that's going over through the request body, is raw JSON. Okay, then the JSON data is actually this. So we need the phone number ID, the customer's number that we are calling, then their name, and the actual assistant data. So the JSON data that we have even inserted the system prompt, inserted the dynamic variables so that we can initiate the phone call. So this is what we have here. And if I scroll over here, let me just close this. If I hover over this, notice this specific initial module starts to pulsate, showing that we are getting the JSON string from this specific module. Yeah, that's it. That's how you're able to build an AI phone caller that automatically calls any lead that fills out your contact form, ensuring that you have that boosted conversion rates. Point being, you want to reach out to them as soon as possible when their need is at its peak. You don't want to reach out 2 days later or 1 day later when it's no longer a priority. So if you don't want to work with our team to build such powerful AI systems, whether it's an AI phone caller or AI chatbots or automating any repetitive tasks within your business, go ahead and click the link in the description to visit our website and book in a meeting with our team. Anyways, that's it from me. Till next time, stay servy. Peace.